Okay, so guys, in today class, what we are going to cover, we are going to cover the network configuration in Linux server, right? How we will configure network and how we can manage networking thing, how we can change the IP address, or how basically how we can see IP address and manage IP addresses in the server. Okay, so let's go ahead. So in today class, right? So in Red Hat Enterprise Linux, you can configure network setting from the command line using tool like nmcli, network manager command line interface, or by editing network configuration files directly or a graphical mode. So there are 3-4 ways to configure IP addresses, right? And to manage network configuration in Linux system. Okay. Yeah.
No, sir. Carry on.
Okay, so guys, please mute yourself, right? When you require to ask any question, unmute yourself and ask the question. Okay. Okay, good. So the first type is, all right, you can use nmcli command, right? So as we know, right, if we go in a real kind of environment, right, you will not get the graphical mode, right? You only get a terminal, or either you will only have a SSH access, right? So in that terminal, how you can manage the networking thing, how you can configure the network through the command line. So we'll learn that. And second method we have, that is nmtui. So nmtui, you can say nmtui graphical mode into the command line, you can say, right? It is not the actual graphical, you will not get the UI, but it's a, you can say it's a text mode, right? Text mode configuration. And third one, we have a manual configuration directly, which you can edit file, networking file directly. As you know, right, in Linux, everything is a file. So if it is a file, definitely you can modify it, right? And you should know where is the file, how you can modify all these things. You have to understand and learn. So if you know how to write where is the file, which file is responsible for the network, you can easily modify that file according to your requirement. Okay. So the next is a graphical mode. So graphical mode is just like you have a desktop mode installation, just like your graphical mode is also installed into the server. Then you can access your server graphical mode. You can log in through your keyboard mouse into the graphical mode, and you can just right click on the network setting and you can change the configuration. So we'll go all these things one by one and we'll understand it. Okay. So let's go for the first type of option, which is nmcli. So if you want to modify your network through nmcli, make sure you so see, nmcli you will get by default on every server which you will install. If you don't find that basically nmcli command, you can also install network manager package to facilitate the nmcli command. Okay. So let's see how you can see it. So if you want to check the current network connections, right, just like you are logged in on the server and you wanted to check a current network configuration, so what command you can use? You can use nmcli connection show. Connection means it will show you the complete connection. So let's go on terminal also and just see how we can see and how we can do the practical for all these commands too. It's like, okay, so let's go on the terminal. So very first I have to log in on the server. So my current server IP is SSH. I'm logging with root 192.168.1.10. This is my server access. So okay, so guys, see one thing very interesting on the terminal, right? What it is saying, remote host identification has changed. So it's a good thing you see during the class, because this error you will get most of the time on your real working environment. Or so why this issue came, right? This issue basically came if, right, as you know, we had our last server IP was 200, right? So if your IP got changed either due to DSCP or either you change it manually, you can face this issue. So basically, when you will go in a production environment or in a company, you will not face this kind of much issue, right? But you can. Why? If your modem means your networking method is on DHCP. Let's suppose you are running a Wi-Fi in your home, right? And 4 or 5 people came and 4 students came in your home and they connected their laptop. So let's suppose um, Syam IP is 10, right? Emmanuel IP is 20, Raj IP is 30, Ritesh IP is 40, right? So after working for a while and they went back, they don't come again within the 24 hour. Okay. They don't come within the 24 hour again. So what will happen after 24 hour if any new person will come, right? And let's suppose Raj IP was 10 and Raj is not coming again for connecting that Wi-Fi connection or Ethernet connection, whatever network connection is there. All right. So what will happen? The 10 IP will release and that will be assigned to another machine too. Okay. Understand? So once Raj will come and next time he will get a new IP, and when he will get a new IP, then you will see this host identification has changed, right? Means machine is already in the network, but somehow their IP got changed and that IP was already assigned earlier to another person. Understand? So then you will face this issue. Means this IP someone else was using and now he is not in the network and I just assign this IP to another system. Okay. So when you will try to log in on the system, you will see this message. So this is not a error. Basically, it's a warning. So you will not able to connect. So if you will read this message on a screen very carefully, you will find solution too. So what it is saying, please contact to your administrator, and it is saying in this file, see in this file, line number 170, there is some IP conflict is means this IP has changed. So what you have to do, you have to either you can delete this file, but as an expert, I will never ever advise to delete this file. Else, if you will delete this file, your issue will be fixed. But you can just like delete other key too, because inside your known host file, you will have, see, you will have so many files and so many IPs there, right? See, so many IP and known host entry is there. So it's a token, you can say. So what I have to do, it will see, it is already saying here, you have to go inside line number 170. So what you have to do, you just go inside this and type colon 170 here in the bottom 170 and press enter. So once you will go here, right, you will find your IP. So see, in two line this entry is there, 2 3 multiple line is there with the same IP. So what you have to do, you have to delete all the lines, right, which have this IP in starting. Okay, so let's delete it. See, either you delete in one go, right, or either if you are going to delete 170 line again and then came out, and if you try to log in again, it will show you the error. It has some other line. See, 169 line is also have some. So it's better once you log in inside this, search that IP. All right. So what IP is there? 192.168.1.10, and delete all the lines where it is matching. So this one is delete, delete. If we have anything, no. Now all IP deleted from this list. So you don't have to delete only IP. You have to delete complete line where that IP is mentioned. Okay. Now let's try to log in again on the server and see. So this time it is asking for your fingerprint. So what it is saying, see, this server means this fingerprint is already had an address this 200. So this IP got changed, right? So that's why you are able to see this passage. So why I'm saying this, right? Most of the developer, they face this issue on daily basis. All right. And they will ask you to support. Hey, Emmanuel, I'm facing this issue. I'm not able to log in on the server. So when you will see, you will get this issue, right? So you have to sort it out like that. So see, now I have logged in on the server. So let's see. So the very first thing, how you can check your IP on the server. So there are multiple commands for checking the IP. So first thing, it is if config. So if you will run command if config, you will see all the Ethernet which is configured on your server. You will see their name here. Like, and this is one Ethernet. LO is the local host, means it's a loop back, and VIR0 means it's a virtual IP. You can say it's a virtual IP because we are using virtual box. So virtual box is connecting a virtual IP to communicate between your local host to the network. So main IP is what? This one, ENP0 as 3. Okay. And here we have one line with the name of inet, right? So this is the IP address 192.168.1.10. So this one is the one. Second command is to see the IP addresses, hostname space hyphen capital I, right? Once you will run this command, you will see the IP address also here in the line. So there are two IP addresses currently assigned on this server. One is 192.168.1.10. Second one is 192.168.122.1. Right? So this one is the virtual one, and this one is the actual IP address through which you can communicate over the network. Okay. Next, IPA command is also there, which will show you a IP detail, right? So these three commands you can use to see existing IP details on the server. So in most of the Linux flavor, like Red Hat, Ubuntu, CentOS, or any other Linux, so you will find, right, one of the command in these three, just like we have 3-4 command. So if you will not finding if config, that's okay, because in if config required extra package to install. So you can check IPA. If IPA is also not working, you can use hostname space hyphen capital I. If that is not working, then you can use this command nmcli. So definitely you will find nmcli command. So let's run this command and see. So what command? nmcli. So once you will run nmcli, just press enter. So see, this will also show you all the Ethernet which is connected on the system, and it will show you all the details. So in ENP0 as 3, we have this IP, right? All detail it is showing, right? BR, right? And if you want to just run this through full command, right? Connection, and then so what it will show you, it will show you all Ethernet connection which is available on the server. So how many Ethernet connection we have? We have ENP 0 as 3. We have, right, vert VR0, VIR VR0. Okay. So these two server is showing device, right? But third one and fourth one, we have two another devices Ethernet, but it is not showing a device, means there is no physical device attached with the system. This IP is simply configured, but it is not a physical device, you can say. Understand? Until and unless you understand physical device, means in your system you have connected one physical LAN card, right? Either LAN card or either Wi-Fi LAN card, right? So it will show you, if you will have a multiple LAN card attached in your system, you will see here ENP0 or Ethernet 0. So when, let me just tell you one common thing you can also understand in real scenario. So whenever you will connect any physical server means you have connected your laptop, or you have connected your any server physically with internet and wired. So you will see this ETH0. But if it is a virtual server, or if it is a virtual desktop, or if it is a virtual PC, you will most of the time you will see ENP, right? ENP release type of name. So you can easily understand, okay? If it is showing ENP means you can identify, oh, this is a virtual box, or this is some kind of virtual machine, you can say. Okay, next. So to view network interface, how you can view the network interface? So I already told you 4 command which you can use to see the network interface. But if you want to see through nmcli, you can use nmcli device status, right? So just like here, nmcli device status. So once you will run this, so you will see, all right, again the status of your current basically devices, right? So if you want to see nmcli, and then if you will define this, sorry, device, so right, if you run command nmcli device, and then so means you want to see the detail of this ethernet, right? We have 3 ethernet here, see, we have 3 ethernet. And if you want to see the detail of this vr0, you have to just type like this, what it is saying. Okay, vr0, so it will show you the detail about vr0. If you want to see detail of loopback, so you can define lo, means loopback. And if you want to see for the your physical LAN card, you can use this one. So here also, when you will run this command, nmcli device, so enp0s3, right? So you will see all the detail related to that ethernet card. Means what is the general device name is ethernet, it's a type, which kind of device is, it's a ethernet. What is the hardware address of, means mac address of this ethernet is this, and what is mtu, and what is state 100 connected, what is the connection name is enp0s3, and this is the connection, you can say path, right? Wired properties character on, what is the IP address of this server, this is the IP address. What is the gateway, this is the gateway. What is route, this is the route, right? Means it's a routing to the your server, means from your server it is routing to 00000, means over the internet. And what is the DNS address is 8.8.8.8, right? And IPv6 address, so this one is the IPv6 address. So all this detail will show on your server, understand? Like this, nmcli device, so, and then eth0. So next, add new static connections in a system. Let's suppose you wanted to add a new static connections. New static connection means, suppose here etc sysconfig network hyphen script. So I hope everyone know, right? What is this? What is this? Everyone know, right? This address, we have already gone through the networking part, all right, in previous classes, all right? So this is the location where all network related configuration will store. So here, let's suppose we have a 3, 1, 2, 3. So why it is showing 3? Because we have a 3 LAN card, right? We have a 3 LAN card. One is virtual, and sorry, one is physical and 2 is virtual. But we don't have, if you run here, connection, so mcli. So see here, I'm getting 4 output, right? 4 output. This one is the virtual one, but these 2, 3 is the physical. So here we are able to see if CFG, and this is the Ethernet name, right? If CFG ETH0 means the first one, ETH0-1 is the second one. Okay, so this is how you basically see the network configuration. So let's suppose if you wanted to change the configuration, right? How you can change? Let's suppose I'm just going to change configuration for this ENP device ETH. It should not show anything. See what it is saying? Device not found. Why it is showing device not found? Because we don't have any physical devices, right? We don't have any physical device. So let me show you the detail here. If CFG ETH0, if you open this file, see inside this file, all these detail are written. All these detail are written. So I'm just going to delete it. So that, see, I can delete file also like this. So I just deleted these two. So if we run this one, so we have this IP here, right? Now, oh, I have logged out, sorry. Okay, it's so see what happened when I deleted that file, and it's changed the networking configuration. That's why it's logged out, right? It's logged out from the system. So what I have to do, I have to connect that network configuration. So always remember, right? Always remember one thing. If you will basically see, now it's came. So what I did from backend, I just disable network configuration and enabled it. So see, one thing you have to think here. If you will not have a physical, all right, if you will not have a physical, you can say, configuration, so never ever try to stop the connection. Okay, always do restart, right? If you will stop, you will lost your connection, right? If you will lost your connection, you will not able to modify. Then you have to take your system control physically, then only you will make it up again. Okay, so let me check your connection. So okay, see, it's creating this file etc. Yes, config network hyphen script. See, okay, connection delete ETH0. So it's deleted. So connection. Now we are able to see only two connection here, right? So what I was saying, if you want to add any connection, so in which condition you have to add a connection? Let's suppose you created or you added one new LAN card on the system, right? Let's suppose you added new LAN card in the system, and that system required a manual configuration. Manual. There are two kind of IP address. One is static. If you are using static IP address, you don't have to do anything in the system. It will automatically take that, right? But if you will have a static IP address or static features, you have to add your IP address inside the configuration. Then you have to configure. And always remember, if you have added LAN card before the installation of operating system, all LAN card it will show automatically. But if you have installed the operating system and after that if you will add a new LAN card, it will not show here. See, it will, if you run config here now, it will show some detail here, but inside this file, inside, you will not see that any file, right? Just like physical file will not be available. So you have to configure this file. Okay. So let's see how you can configure. So for that, you have to use command nmcli connection add, right? Ethernet connection name ETH0 IF name means you can say frame name if config name. So and then ETH0 and IP4 means the IP address which you want to assign on that particular network. And if you want to assign a gateway DNS, also you have to run this command. So let's run this command and check how we can basically modify the connection, right? Okay, let me just copy the command, whole command. Okay, go on terminal. Okay, so let's suppose here. So see, when I added, see, this is the command nmcli connection add type Ethernet. Connection name is ETH0. IF name is ETH0. IPv4 address is whatever IP address I wanted to give on server, I can give. And then 24, this is the subnet mask. Okay. And this, and here the method is manual, right? Method is manual means the IP address. See, after running this command, what will happen? Once you will run this command, what will happen? See, again, the network is broken, right? So network is broken. I have to just, guys, always remember, see, I just copy paste that command, right? So when I copy paste, automatically that command run, right? And it's created a issue, right? Because it is trying to have the same Ethernet and it's trying to activate that Ethernet. That's why it's created issue. Otherwise, it will not create issue if you will just type correctly. So make sure when you will do the practice, just don't just either copy paste, just try to, right? Just try to type that command. Okay. Written red hat. Okay. So now I'm back on terminal. So if you run here nmcli command, so what one Ethernet is showing here, right? See, one Ethernet is showing. So what this command do? When you run this command, what happened in the background? It's created one file inside this directory. If you run ls, inside this directory, you will see new file. If cfg-eth0, right? ETH0. And if you will open this file, you will see all these configuration file, which is created inside this file through that command. In that command, we assign IP address 124. This is the gateway, DNS, diff root, all these details it will show. So one important thing here, you will see one option is on boot. So this is the most important thing. If your on boot is equal to yes, means when you will reboot your system, you will get your network back again. But if you will make this no, right? If you will make this no, then what will happen? Whenever you will reboot the system, your system will not come on Ethernet automatically. Okay, then you have to connect your server physically and you have to make this Ethernet up. Understand? So always remember, whenever you do any configuration, make sure you keep this on board. On boot is yes, right? So when you will give any interview, right, people also can ask this. Whenever I reboot my system, my network connectivity lost, right? What is the issue? You can simply tell there is no on boot configured inside the configuration. So you have to make on boot is equal to yes if you want your network up and running during the reboot. Okay. So now we have configured. So, but when you will try to this server up, right? Let's suppose if you wanted to make it up right here. So what you can do, right? If you make, and if you wanted to just like a device, and if you wanted to that device uh, connection, right? Basically, if you see here, if you run if config command here, right? So you are able to see IP address onto the ETH0 means it is showing only active connections, all right? And if you want to make that connection up or down, what you have to do command? You have to run command nmcli connection, right? And then up or down, just like I just, if I wanted make it down. So what one? ETH0, right? So see what it is saying. It is showing not a active connection, right? It is showing not a active connection. That's why it is not showing. Let's suppose if I'm just using up, then what will happen? So what it is saying, connection activation failed, no suitable device found for this connection. Device ENP0 as 3 not available because profile is not compatible with the device. Mismatching interface name. So why it is showing? Because we have configured this IP, but we don't have any physical LAN card. Understand? We don't have any physical LAN card attached into the system. That's why it is not able to means basically you are not able to make it up or down. So okay, but you remember, right? This is the command to make any Ethernet up and down. Let's suppose I have this ENP0 as 3, and I just wanted to make this down, right? Currently it is, right? So, right, it is up, right? It is showing up. And if I just wanted to make it down, down, and then this one. So see, now my terminal is hanged. Why it is hanged? Because that network connectivity is lost. I made it but down, right? So never ever try to make it down during the SSH connection, okay? Until and unless you have a physical server. Physical server means you have your graphical mode or serial control access. So serial control access means your server. Let me just share another screen once and show you that connection, right? How for what connection I'm saying. Able to see? See, I have my server physically here. So once I made down, this server is down. So how I can make it up? I can just open terminal here on this server, and then only I can make it. Yes, open a terminal here. So what I have to do? This is a physical server. If I will make it up, then first I have to log in with root. Okay, I logged in with root. This is physical server, right? And here I can connection up ENP0 as 3, right? Then I make it up. So see, you are able to see the connection. Connection successfully activated. DBus activate path. This is the configuration. So, and you are also able to see one networking icon in the right side corner, right? So this is the networking icon. So how you can do? Either you can run the command on physical server, and if you don't have a physical server, then you have to connect the serial console. See, you have to connect the basically serial console. Then only you can run this command. Or either if you have a graphical mode, what you can do, you can just turn off or enable from here. If it is disabled mode, what you have to do, you have to just click on this icon, and you have to click on wired and then connect. Then you will get your network back. Okay. See, config. Okay, you get your network back. So this is how you can enable if you have disabled by mistake or stopped your network connectivity from remote. Remote means from you can say as such. Okay, then only you will able to. Okay, so let me come back on my terminal again. Okay, so you see, and if you wanted to do a dynamic connection, dynamic means a DHCP. So let's do that one. So nmcli connection add type Ethernet connection name Ethernet 0. See this Ethernet 0 you can use according to your situation. If you want to add Ethernet 0, you will use Ethernet 0. If it is nmcli something, you can use nmcli, right? And then IPv4 method auto. So what this command will do? What this command will do? This command basically generate and configure one Ethernet connection. So let me go on terminal here again, login. So I think I have disabled one. I'm just enabling from backend. Yeah, it's came. Okay, so let's first connection store and then delete the connection. I'm just so see the difference, guys. Just try to understand. Let's see the difference. If we run cat etc sys config network hyphen script etfg eth0 see this is the connection. So inside this file, what is written? See, all this detail is written. So I'm just going to delete this connection first. Delete eth0. So once you will delete, this file will be deleted from this location. All right, from this file will be deleted from this location. See, eth0 file is deleted now. So if you see again, it is disconnecting here. Okay, so this file is deleted. Now I'm just going to create a new connection. I'm just going to create a new connection which will be auto. Auto means see this one. So see what happened when you run this command. The command is nmcli connection add type Ethernet connection name is eth0 iframe eth0 and then IP address method is auto means DHCP connection. So when you will run this command again, it will create a file inside this, right? So once we are just configuring this network, it's disconnecting. So you always remember, right? If you configure this, make sure you restart your server, right? If you face this issue, restart your server, or either if you don't have a serial console to enable this, just restart. Just like if you talk about clouds, AWS, Oracle, or any cloud, you will not get serial console very easily. If you want to connect on the serial console, you have to do some extra effort. So what you can do, you can simply reboot the server, right? It will automatically come up once you will reboot the server. Okay. So see what difference happened in that file which we configured here. Let's do the cat and see what is written inside it. So see inside this boot proto. Now it's a written DHCP, right? And there is no IP address here inside this configuration file. There is no IP address. But when you will see the last cat command, where it is. Yeah, this one. See, here this it is showing IP address plus this boot proto option is showing none. So these two things is important. Understand? So once you will configure that dynamically, so it will not show the configuration. So let's delete this configuration again. Connection. So this one is for that when you wanted to basically add or delete connection. So now these options you don't have to work at much, right? What you have to do, you have to always do the modification for existing connections. Understand? You have to do modification for existing connections. So in that case, what you will do? See, normally you will not get your server configuration file or IP address. It will be there. But what you can do, that scenario can come, you have to modify this IP. Just like now, my IP is here 192.168.1.10. And I just wanted to modify this IP address to 192.168.1.200 or something else. Then what I will do, right? How I will modify existing connections, right? See, modify an existing connection. So how you can modify the existing connection, and this is the most thing which you will do in your whole journey. You don't have to add new connection. See, if I honestly saying in last 15 year, I never ever try or I never done or never added new connections. I always modify existing connection because you don't have to add multiple Ethernet and all on the server. Maybe it can be in some cases you have to, but most of the cases will be you have to modify existing server IP. If you are cloning any server, what you have to do, let's suppose for scenario, I'm saying let's suppose one server is running nscloudacademy.com that is hosted on one server, and that server is running, and you wanted to create a clone of that server. So once you will create a clone, it will copy a disk level replication, right? It will copy the complete disk, and it will create a clone. So once you will start that server, you will, if your IP IP address is manually assigned, right? What you have to do, you have to modify that connection file, right? Then only you can use it. Just like if existing server is on 10, so when you will create a clone, in that server also you will get configuration file 10. It will not modify automatically, right? Then you have to modify it manually. Understand? So what you can run command, nmcli connection modify ethernet, right? And then IP address. After that, IP address, gateway, gateway name, and DNS name, right? So let's run this command and see. So we are going to modify the existing one. So once you will do the modification, definitely it will disconnect the connections. See why we are just doing everything on, see, from remote, that's why it's disconnecting. If we will use that physical server, you will not see this disconnection again and again. Okay, now connected. So what I have to run command, I have to run command nmcli and then connection modify. So before that, let me just use one connection. So and then run connection modify. And once you will modify, so which connection you are going to modify? You wanted to modify this connection where you have a IP address, right? enp0 as 3. Okay, so what you are going to modify in this, you have to modify IP v4. So IP, you can also only use IPv4, or either you can use a complete connection of IPv4 connection, right? Sorry, IPv4 address. Okay, addresses, and then the existing IP you already know, 192.168.1.10. This is the existing IP. But what you have to do, you wanted to modify it to, let's suppose, 15, okay, or 200. Let's suppose 200. And then subnet mask. Subnet mask means what is the subnet mask of this IP? So always remember, if your existing IP in the same range means it is C class IP address 192.168. So see, starting these three characters is matching, right, of your existing IP address. So what you can do, you can only change the IP address. If you don't want to change the gateway and then DNS, because the gateway and DNS is same, you don't have to change. But if you want to change it, you have to again define IPv4 dot gateway, all right, space, and then you have to define the gateway address 192.168.1.1. So what is gateway address? Basically, gateway address is your modem address. Modem means Wi-Fi router which you are using at your home. But when you will go in company, this gateway can be anything. You have to ask all these details to the network administrator. Okay, if you have a network administrator, mostly cases you will get your separate network administrator when you will work in the organization. So you can ask IP address, what IP address I have to define, and what gateway I have to define, and what DNS I have to define. So for DNS, IPv4 dot DNS, right? And then you can define 8.8.8.8, then press enter. So see, here we are modifying existing IP. So once you run this command, and once you will run show connection, sorry, device show EMP0 as 3. So see what you will see here. Your IP address is still showing this one. But when you will open that configuration file, cat etc if config sysconfig network hyphen script, and then if config end. So here this IP is changed now. You are able to see this IP is changed. So when this IP will reflect, this IP will reflect once you will restart your system, right? Once you will restart your system, this IP will reflect, okay, on the system. Or either you can run command systemctl restart network manager. M is capital inside this. So if it works, then fine. If it will not work, see, now you are able to see two IP here, IP address 4 and IP address 10. So why it is showing? Because existing IP is not released till now. So what you can do, you can simply restart. So I will advise as an expert, whenever you change the IP, just restart it, restart the system. Okay. And then try to access on the new IP address. So this is the easiest way and safest way. So why I'm saying, because when your existing IP is in running mode, and if you will not restart the system, maybe some other feature and some other services is also running, that is already capturing the old IP, because you had only restarted the network services. You have not restarted any other services, right? So the best thing, whenever you change the IP address, restart your system. So see, let's try to access on 10. See, we are not able to access. Why? Because that IP is changed now. So what is the new IP? We have given 200, right? Just log in with that. See, now we get the system. So if you will see that connection detail now here, network connects device show enp0 as 3. See, now that 10 IP is gone, right? You have only one IP address. So this is how you can use nmcli command to modify the networking part, networking IP address and all. Okay. And if you want to activate any IP, just like your primary IP is all running and you have a secondary IP address or secondary LAN card, you wanted to activate or deactivate any Ethernet. What you can do, you can run command nmcli connection up ETH0. ETH0, see, don't confuse with this ETH0 because in PPT it's written ETH0. This ETH0 means your Ethernet name. So what is the name in my case? In my case, name is ENP0S3, right? So I wanted to make up and down this. So I have to define this device name. Okay. And if you want to make it down, you can run command down and then your device name here, this one. Okay. Now, if you wanted to delete connection, what you have to do? If you wanted to delete connection. So if you wanted to delete any connection, then what you will do? You have to run command nmcli connection delete and then just like this device, sorry, nmcli connection, right? Delete and then device name. If I wanted to delete this one, I have to just type here delete. If you wanted to delete ETH0, you have to define ETH0. Means either you can use UUID in place of ETH0 of this, or either you can use name. Both will work. Okay. Great. Now, so next type. So this one was the nmcli, right? This one. Next method is nmtui. So what is the full form TUI? Network Manager Text User Interface, right? It's a Network Manager Text User Interface. So let's see this one. nmtui, right? Once you will run nmtui command, you will see this kind of interface. Means it is a text mode. So what you want to do? It is showing here network TUI, right? Please select an option. What you want to do? You want to activate a connection. You want to set host name, like just like if you want to modify the host name, you can modify. So current host name is this server4.nscloudacademy.live. If you want to modify anything, just like let's suppose I just wanted to use server 4 only. So I can use OK. My server is set to OK space. And now I, let's suppose I just wanted to do the network configuration. Network configuration means IP address I just wanted to change. So once you will select and press enter, you will see all the Ethernet listed here. So what Ethernet is showing? Only one Ethernet is showing, and second one is the bridged adapter. Bridged adapter means it's creating communication between your virtual box to your system. So you don't have to touch anything for the bridged adapter. What you have to do, you have to modify the Ethernet. So let's suppose I just wanted to modify here. I will select it and press enter. Once you will press enter, it will show you complete detail. What is the profile name? What is the device and what is the MAC address of this device? And what is the IP address? See, I'm just using keyboard up arrow and down arrow to move the cursor, right? Let's suppose this IP address I wanted to change. I can just delete it. I can use this. I can this. I wanted to use the gateway. I can use this. So whatever modification you need, after the modification complete, see, you have to press OK in the last. So see here, it is showing well also IPv6. So let's suppose I just wanted to use disable IPv6 options. Okay, and then press OK. Okay, and then you have to press back and then press OK. Okay. and then you have to press quit. So now you have done with your network configuration when you want to do the TUI option. Understand? It is very easy. It will very easy because it's a kind of graphical interface, right? It's giving graphical interface into the text mode, right? Then you can simply configure it. Okay. Any confusion in nmtui? I hope there is no confusion, guys, right?
Yes, no confusion.
Okay, so because it is very easy, you don't have to do just a command if you want
Sir,
to.
that repeat NUI
Sorry.
repeat it verbally.
Okay, you want to get it repeat. So see, nm you have to just simply run command nmtui. Once you will run this command, you will just see these options. One is edit connection, means you want to modify existing Ethernet. You want to activate connection, means Ethernet is already there, but it is in disabled mode. See, once you will click here, right? See here it is saying Ethernet. You want to deactivate, you have to just select it and deactivate, right? And if you want to activate, if it will be deactivated, it will show option here activate. Okay, and go, if you want to go back, just press space after selecting back. And if you want to set the host name, you have to select this host name option, set system host name, and press space. So once you will press space or either enter, you will see these options. You can modify it and press OK, OK, and then quit. Okay, now you're done, and just restart the system. So this is very, very easy. Okay, great. So next is the next configuration option is manual configuration. So I hope you already understand the manual configuration till now, right? So for manual configuration, what you have to do, you have to simply modify the connections, right, inside the DHCP. So how, let's convert our server into DHCP. So currently our server is configured in the static mode, right? It is in a static mode, and we have defined IP address 192.168.1.200. So let's change the IP address from 200 to 10 again. Okay. So what you have to do, you have to go inside vim etc sysconfig network hyphen script. Inside this folder, see, inside this folder, let's suppose I'm just going ls. If you have a two LAN card attached with your system, you will see two if CFG file inside this directory. If you have a three LAN card, you will see three file. If you have a four, you will find a four. If you have a multiple, you will find multiple. Understand? So you can easily understand inside this script, network hyphen script, each file is responsible for each network. So you can easily identify. So currently we have only one Ethernet. So let's open this file VIM. So we see, remember, we are going to modify manually. So what I have to do, I just simple open. Let's suppose I just wanted to change the IP address. So what I have to do, I will go inside the IP address and I will just change it and then save. After saving, systemctl restart net hyphen manager. This command you have to run. If you will run this command, see, your system IP will change, but it is not reflecting here. So the best thing, because we have changed the IP address, just restart it. Otherwise, if you will not restart, what will happen? It will automatically terminate your connection after some time. Once it will be reflected, it will terminate your connection. So you will not able to connect on 200 again. You have to connect on that IP which you have say changed into the system. So that IP is 192.168.1.10. So see, it is not refusing, means your system is not rebooted at. So let it reboot. Let it reboot it. Okay, let's see. 10. It's still change or not? 200. Okay. Still refusing. Both are refusing. Okay, so see what we did. Both are not coming up. So what happened? So it's a typo error. I'm just going back. Let me just show you. Right, so see, this can also happen with you guys in real environment. You were changing IP, but somehow due to typo or due to some issue, that IP was not changed, which you was right. So you don't know what is happening, right? And your server is not coming up. So what you have to do again, you have to go on your serial console. Serial console means your physical server, and you have to basically see, you have to go on your serial console on physical server, and you have to check. See, this network is showing connected, but when I'm just, or either you can use a, see, you can simply use terminal to make, right? Okay. So what you can do, log in with root, Red Hat, okay, and open configuration file again, cat etc sys config network hyphen script ifcfg eth0, and see what is the difference. What it is saying, it is checking boot port to none, IP address is this, but user is root. Okay, but here if we check the IP address here, wired setting connection here, see what IP address is taken. It's taking 2, right? It's taking 2. It's not taken 10. So somehow it's modified it. So let's go setting inside IPv4. See that this is the difference. What it is showing here, it's showing DHCP, right? It's showing DHCP. That's why it's taking another IP, and in file it is another IP, right? So what you have to do, you have to correct it, right? It's happened due to typo. That correction I did not do properly, right? So 192.168.1.10, then netmask 255.255.255.0, and gateway 192.168.1.1. DNS is 8 dot, sorry, 8.8.8.8, and you can just apply it. Disable, enable. If you have a graphical mode, no need to restart, right? No need to restart. You can just disable and enable. Let's come out. Run if config command here. What IP is taking now? It's taking 10 here, right? And now if I will try to access through remote, it will be accessible. So now it is accessible now. See, it is accessible now. From the remote also, I'm able to access this server. Understand? So let's run this server. Okay. If you run if config, see, this is the IP. So this is how you can just change it. And if this is in that case, if you wanted to change the IP address only, see here, IP address only. But let's suppose you wanted to change it to the DHCP back, right? This is a manual configuration, means static configuration. Don't confuse. Two type of configuration you will do. One is static, means whatever modem will give IP address, it will be taken on the system. And that IP address will change automatically time to time in the background. You don't have to see anything. But if you want to make IP address static or permanent, you have to configure static. So if you wanted to make is DHCP, what you have to do, just simply you have to go inside the boot proto and just type DHCP. Okay, and then comment these lines, IP address one. These three lines you can comment, right? User root also you can comment, and then save the file. After saving the file, just restart the server and see the difference. See, the server is getting restarted. Okay, nscloud, user password is 123. Okay, now if you open server terminal and if you run if config command, you will see what IP it's taken. It's taken 10 only. The same IP it's taken after reboot also, right? So it can take any IP. There is no restriction. If that IP is available, it can take same IP also, right? But it will take a reboot, or just like it will release in after 24. Let's suppose you have shut down this system for 24 hours. At the same time, some other system will join and they will try to fetch the IP address. It will change it and it will give here that IP address. Okay. Okay, guys. So this is how you can configure the existing network manually from the file. Sudo su red hat. It's not okay. It's not a sudo user. So I have to run command sudo red hat to log in. Okay. You understand how you will modify? So I always preferred to do modification into the file. If I talk about me, how I modified the network configuration during my job and in real scenario, I always modify the through the file, because that is very easy for me. That is very easy for me to do the modification. Okay. So let's go inside this slash etc sysconfig network hyphen script. See, one new connection was created during the configuration. And if you, let's suppose somehow you deleted configuration, right? Somehow what you done, somehow what you did, you deleted configuration. What you can do, let's suppose I'm just going to delete rm start, enter, right? Now there is no configuration, right? So till now it is a network, but once you will reboot, see what will happen. You are able to see this network is connected here, right? And just try to delete it, restart it, and it's 6. So what will happen? Let's see what will happen. If your Ethernet is on DHCP, it should regenerate that file But if it is not into the DHCP, it should not come up. One, two, three. See, your network connection is not came up, right? Now, let's go on terminal and see the difference. su hyphen red hat cd slash var www sorry cd slash etc sysconfig network script. Inside this folder, see, this file is not there. But when you will run if config command, you will see your device up here, right? See, your device is up. Means what is the meaning of this? Means you have a physical hardware presented into the system, but that is not configured. See, inside this, we don't have any IP here inside this section, right? If you run hostname -i command, see, that IP is not showing. This is the virtual IP. This is not the actual IP, right? So how you will restore your network? How you will restore? Okay. So in this case, what you have to do, very first thing, you have to just run nmcli, or if you don't want to run nmcli, just run if config command. Once you will run this if config, you will get to know your device which is connected and what is your device name. So your device name is enp0as3, right? So what you have to do, you have to go inside this configuration directory, and here you have to create one file, right? If cfg hyphen and then device name. What device name is showing inside your server? Just open it. Once you will open it, right, you will see your configuration file. So if you wanted to make your server on DHCP only, so you have to just type typ type is equal to ethernet, okay, boot. One thing is very important. Don't do typo mistake inside the any. If it is written in the capital, write down in the capital. If it is in a small, write down in a small. Okay. DHCP name is equal to, now your name is ENP. This name is important, right? And then device is, and device name is this one. So these two things should be same, basically name and device. And after that, you have to just run on boot is equal to yes. Means when you will reboot your system should take IP address automatically. So after writing these things, just save it and restart the config server, right? And let's see IP address is taking or not this time. Able to see this network is connected this time. Okay. Next, config. Run if config command. You will see your IP up and running. See, now IP address is taking 192.168.1.2 and through DHCP, right? It's already came on server. So this one is for DHCP mode. But if you wanted to do same thing for a static mode, right? Means you wanted to define a particular IP, because if you will say DHCP, you cannot decide the IP, what the IP you wanted to bind, right? But if you wanted to make it static, in that case, what you have to do? Now see, so now scenario is my server is on DHCP mode. I'm just going to change it to static mode, right? How I will do? Open the configuration file again. VIM, either you can go through CDC, either you can go inside CD, etc, sysconfig, network, and then here ls, and then we open this if config file like directly from here, or either you can run command directly from outside etc sysconfig network -script, and then this one, right, this file, and open. So you have to modify these details again if you wanted to, all right, use the static IP address, all right. So again, type is Ethernet, that's fine. Boot proto will be, in case of DHCP, you have to define none, okay. Ethernet is okay, device name is okay, on boot is okay. You have to define IP ADDR is equal to 192.168.1. Let's suppose 201. I'm just giving new IP. And then you have to define net mask. Net mask is equal to 255.255.255.0. So guys, don't confuse, right? If you are not able to understand this IP address, what is the, why I'm using this IP address, why I'm using this subnet mask, right? You don't have to worry about it. Just explore by yourself. What you can explore? Networking, basic networking means how many classes there in the networking. Just like we have a class A, class B, class B, class C, right? Class D, right? So you can explore, and the range of the IP address. So if your IP is starting from 192, what is the range? Means it's a class C IP address. So if class C IP address is there, then your subnet mask will be 255.255.255. If class B is there, your subnet mask will be 255.255.0.0. If it will be class A IP address, that network mask will be 255.0.0.0. Right? So all these things is you have to just try to get the basic networking detail. I will share you the video. You can go through that about, right? But if you don't know, don't worry, because this is not your work. Your network team will tell you what IP address you have to use and what net mask you have to use in the real scenario. Okay. The gateway is also only gateway. Gateway is the location through which your system is connecting to the internet. So in my current situation, what is the medium? My modem means my you can say my internet device, the Wi-Fi router which I have installed inside my home. So for that IP address, my sorry, that router IP address is 192.168.1.1. This is the IP address of my gateway. And in most of the places, you will see this IP only for the gateway, for that modem. Okay. Now, here only also, if you want, you can define DNS also. Just like if you have DNS1, you have multiple DNS, you can define DNS1, DNS2, DNS3. But if you have a single DNS, you can define like this. So let's suppose I have a multiple, so I can do use 8.8.8.8. So this 8.8.8.8 is a global DNS provider for Airtel. Understand? This is a global DNS provider. So all over the world, anywhere if you will use 8.8.8.8 means it will use that DNS to resolve your query and all. And if you have a second DNS also, you can use DNS2 is equal to 8 dot whatever is the DNS, right? 8.4.4. So suppose if you have your own DNS, just like in your in-house DNS, network team will tell you what DNS IP address you have to use, right? And you can simply just save this, and let's verify everything again. Type Ethernet, boot proto, yeah, none, DNS on boot, yeah, that's correct. So this is the configuration which you have to add inside this configuration file and just reboot the server. And if you don't want to reboot, you have a physical server, also try to just run systemctl restart network manager. Sorry, M is capital here. So see, M is capital. So let's check the IP. So see, IP address is still not released. Okay. So what we can do, if you have a graphical mode, you are on the same server, you can also use, right, nmcli connection. So nmcli device down enp0 as 3. So I made my device down. So what it is showing, it's successfully disconnected. So let's make it up again. So why I'm able to run this command, because I am in physical server currently. So if I will make it down, my connection will not lost, right? See, now ENP successfully activated. So let's see the IP address now. See, what is the IP address now? IP address is changed. I don't have to restart the server. So if I have connected server physically, I don't have to restart. If I have not connected server physically, definitely just change the IP and restart the system. That's it. Understand, guys? Let's back on your phone again. Just method 3. So this is for a manual one, right? It's typo here. It's a written for DSCP, but this is the not correct. It's a typo. It's for a static IP address. So this is the way which you can replace. So what you can replace when in your scenario, you can replace your IP, desired IP, you can replace your subnet mask, you can replace your gateway, and you can replace your primary DNS and secondary DNS. And after that, you can restart. So once you will restart network manager, and if it is not working, you can reboot the system, or either you can use nmcli device up and down command to activate and deactivate your Ethernet. Understand? So I hope all good till now. Yeah, definitely it will require some practice for you. So next method is to manage the graphical mode and manage the network is a graphical mode. But guys, always remember, you will not get graphical mode at all when you will start working into the real environment. All right, you can get just like maybe 1% chance is there you have. Because why people don't install graphical mode, because when you will do server, right, when you will deploy server required a good RAM and all, and to run graphics, right, it will require more CPU, more RAM. So if you will install graphical mode on server, most of the RAM and CPU will be eaten by the graphics only, right? So they always recommend don't install graphics on the server, right? So that our server will be very fast, and it should take or it should utilize very minimum hardware requirement. Okay, so let's see how we can do for the graphical mode. So the for graphical mode, what you have to do, you have to log in into the system, you have to go in the setting, and then you have to select the network configuration and then modify. So let's go on the server and just see how we can do that. I hope it is visible, right? So currently I am on server. So let's close this terminal because we have logged in and we want it. So there are two options. Either you can simply click on this network manager and you can go in the setting, or either you can click on activities. Inside activities, you will have to click on show application. Inside, see, you will get the settings. Once you will go in the setting, you will find one option for the network here. Once you will click on network, you will see all the connection. If you have a multiple wired connection, you will see multiple IP address here, or sorry, Ethernet connection is there, right? But if you don't have a multiple Ethernet, you will see at least one, right? So here we have a setting icon. Just click on this. Once you will click on this, you will find this page. So let's understand this page. So here on detail, you have one option, this connect automatically. So these option is that option. Remember one setting was there, on boot, yes. So this is the check for that. If you will remove it, it will change on boot no into the file automatically, right? Once you will reboot it. So if you wanted your system come automatically on the Ethernet or on the network, always check this on, right? Otherwise, when you will reboot your system will not come up automatically. You have to make it up manually, right, by yourself. Understand? Next option is identity. So identity is related to name. If you wanted to change the name of the device and all, you can use this. But I will always recommend, don't change the Ethernet name. Use the default name, whatever is there. Next is IPv4. So this is the actual configuration which you wanted to use for IP configuration. Let's suppose you want to configure your server for DHCP. So what you have to do, you have to just select DHCP and apply, and then just disconnect this, and because if you are on a graphical mode, you can disconnect your network and connect again, right? So let's see here what IP is taken. See, automatically it's taken 2 IP, right? Understand? Now IP address is 192.168.1.2. Okay. Now, if you wanted to change it to static again, what you have to do? Again, you have to go in the setting, network, and same configuration file here. And here you have to go on the IPv4. IPv4 means IP address version 4. Okay. And there is IPv6. So you can say this should be disabled always. All right. Because as of now, we are not using IP version 6, right? Very hardly any organization are using IPv6. We are not using. And you can say still 90% people are not, 90, more than 90% people are not using IPv6, right? Only Google or any big organization is using this. So what we are using? We are using IPv4. So if you want to set a static IP address, static means manual, right? So you can select manual and then you can define your IP address here. Whatever IP address you want to give, just 192.1.202. Let's suppose I just wanted to give 202. And net mask, either you can type 24 right here, or either you can, what is 24? 24 means 8.8.8.8. So there is 8-bit address. So 8, 16, 24, right? So that's why it will be 24. If it is 4 class, like just like a class D, so 8888 means 255, 255, 255, 255. So if you don't want to type 255, just type 255 dot 255.255.0, and then gateway 192.168.1.1. This is the gateway. Gateway means modem address, and then DNS address. You can define DNS, okay? And then apply, disconnect, connect again, and see the address. Now, see, IP address is changed. So this is how you can manage your network through graphical mode. So graphical mode is very easy. Of course, it is very, very easy. But if you want to do on the terminal, you have to run that nmcli or nmtui command. Understand, guys? Any question till now in the networking?
No.
Okay. What about others?
No.
Great. So Raj, maybe you did not understand, or maybe you will have a question. You can ask me later. Okay.
Yeah, no problem.
You have not covered the previous classes, so you can go with
Yes.
video and all. So you will understand this one, right? So
Sure.
if you have any questions, just let me know.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, guys. So let me stop this recording.